First thing that's on my mind. Chase that bag today. Chase that bag today. Chase that bag. I can't waste none of my time.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You already know what time it is, baby. It's another episode of the Chase That Bag podcast, and I'm locked in the vault with a very special guest today. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. The one and only, the lovely, amazing Brittani Stanton. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I am doing fantastic.
Good.
Brittani, man, it's an absolute privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to have you here today.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me. I do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just want to be able to sit down and have a good conversation with you and find out what you got going on.
It's all good. I'm open book.
Already, that's what's up. Well, let's get into it. So let's start with your background. Tell me a little bit about where you're from.
So I'm originally from Tyler, Texas. My family's originally from here. I'm originally from Shady Grove on Highway 14. So my family grew up in Liberty Arms, and I left when I was like 4 years old, moved to Seattle, Washington. So I was raised by my mother and my grandfather in Seattle. So I've always came back to Tyler like 3 or 4 times a year, every year while I was gone. So it always felt like home to me. But I came back and moved back my senior year in high school. So I've been back in Texas since and been living in Dallas, the Dallas area. So I feel like I still call myself East Texan, a Tyler girl, but I was raised in the Northwest.
Already.
Yeah.
So, wow, Seattle.
Yeah.
It rains all the time.
Rain. Yep.
That's crazy. So while you were in Seattle, like, what are some of the things that you got into as far as things that you enjoy, passionate about?
So I got I did pageants. My mom put me in beauty pageants as a kid. But when I turned 14, I started rapping. So music is something that's really embedded. I started rapping, did a tour as the opening act. So my mama took me out of school. I was homeschooling and toured with Cash Money and the Rough Riders. So I had a chance to really see a lot and was exposed to a lot over a quick amount of time in my teenage years. And then it really just grew me into who I am today and my passion and love for music. And so seeing that is really what sparked, everything that I do now is just the love for the music. I came to Texas and then I kept rapping, was on the radio, just doing stuff. And you get older and your desires change. You get busy, you get caught up in, growing up thinking you're grown. So I kind of veered off from the music and just kind of started doing my own thing and living life, of course. But I've always been, passionate about what I do in the hip hop, era. So in Seattle, I got a chance to really live life on a whole different level and be exposed to a lot at a young age.
Wow. So are you still an artist?
I always been an artist at heart. I haven't dropped any music. No.
Okay.
I don't go in the studio anymore.
Okay.
But I've been thinking about it.
She's like,
I've been thinking about it. But
don't tip me with
yeah,
a good time.
don't tip me. No, but no, I haven't right now. But I think you always have the artistry. I still write. I do books, so the writing part of it never left, but I have more of a desire to manage, to do artist development, and then the concert aspect of things right now is where I'm at.
It's crazy, right, that you said it. Like, how do you feel, Brittani, how do you feel based on your endeavors and dealings with music as an artist? Mm-hmm. How does that help you be able to help an artist from an artist developmental perspective?
A lot. I've seen a lot of different sides of the business. And when I was coming up, the music business was totally different, and you had to really understand the business. So I read at least over 20 music business books, right? So not only did I have a passion for the music part of it, but I understood that it was bigger than that. So from now, when I see artists, I'm really big on the business side of it, the image. Social media has made it really hard for artists to stay in a certain lane because everything is so exposed that it used to be publicists and people that had to talk for you. And now everybody's able to tweet what they want, post what they want. So, that the branding part of it is really important. So I feel like it helps me to be able to be around those type of echelon of Lil Wayne and DMX, Eve, Trina, to be able to work with those type of artists. I've seen it on a different level. So I do understand what it takes to be successful and to really make an impact and stay in the business, not just do 1 or 2 songs, but really just to be influential and stay. So I learned a lot.
It's crazy that you say that. You talked about how the artist is the brand, and also the business. Like, why do you think so many artists are unaware that they are a brand and that they are to establish themselves as a business entity?
I think because the average person that starts rapping, I don't think a lot of, back when I started, a lot of people don't start rapping to become famous. You know, I think from the people that I know to rap, they just loved it. You could find them freestyling on the corner. They was freestyling at the lunch table. They was freestyling. It didn't matter where they was rapping. So you do have those people that make it out, that happen to pop and they blow, and these are still your homeboys from the hood. They still the ones that was in trouble. They was in juvenile. They was on the football team. You know, so their minds doesn't transition. They're still that same person. They just love rap. And they happen to have people that love their music and love them, but they don't see themselves as a business. They see themselves as who they are. And they just love music, and they want people to accept them for who they are. But the reality is this is a business, and in any business, you got to protect the brand or else it won't last.
Facts.
So.
Facts. So, you know, from an artist developmental perspective, because, and the reason why I want to ask this question is because, you know, a lot of times, and we've heard it on the show, right, where artists, you know, they have these expectations of other people in the industry to help them. And those people that they're looking for help from, you know, have always drilled back to the importance of establishing a following and a fan base.
Exactly.
So from an artist developmental perspective, like, what would you say are a couple of things an artist would need to do or focus on in order to help build that fan base and that following?
Really, the consistency. Well, now you have social media, right? So, of course, a following, just a fan base to be able to. It starts with your friends. It starts with if you're in college, the people on campus. You'll be surprised how many artists you can go to the very place that they're from, and people will tell you they don't even know who they are. Or I didn't know he rapped. Or I didn't know he did music. Or who, you know. So, but then they'll swear they're supposed to be on the radio already. They'll swear that they're supposed to be getting paid shows already. So it's like people skip the foundation of understanding that this is not about, you can get a label that can push you, but those type of artists don't last long. But you look at your Mo3s, you look at your, there's a lot that you can name, but you look at your people that got the core of the people that, if they got a label, cool. But if they don't, cool. People actually like their music. They like what they're about. They like their posts. They like their videos. They like their persona. You just got to get people to buy into you. And then everybody wants a manager. Everybody, oh, that's my manager. That's my this. I mean, what are they managing? You don't even have nothing going on other than, you know, what you want to do. Right. But, you can't hire people that don't have nothing to do. So I just feel like if you focus on just truly dropping music, and not enough of them have music either. You should at least have 20, 30 songs, you know, that people can flip through and just, you know what I'm saying? They're missing that part of it, getting the DJs on board. When I was rapping, we used to do listening sessions. I would get all the DJs that I knew that was hot in my city and be like, I'm doing a party tonight. I just want y'all to come through and sit on the couch and just listen to my records. Let them pick the single. Let them tell you what's hot. Let your homegirls tell you what they think is. I mean, you can't just go off of your own understanding because you're not the consumer, you know. So I just think they skip the grind part of it, and they just want to go to the, you know, I'm somebody, you know.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts.
I think it's crazy because how times change. Like, I remember when it would be an album released, and then, you know, a year, 2 years go by, and then another project comes out, and then you would have people like Lil Wayne, right, who was making a name for themselves because he was dropping so much music, that mixtape era, right?
Yep.
And as a result, you know, we saw what it did for him in his career. Yep. And then you have now, in today's time, you know, where music is really consumed at a high level. Yeah. And a lot of it.
On every level, yeah.
Right. And it's crazy because I remember Spotify was having like a little spat between the artists who are a part of the Spotify brand, right? Meaning, like, they have their music on there. And they talked about how much they were getting paid, like 0.004 per stream. And in order to make $1, your song, or you would have to have an accumulation of 250 streams to make $1. And their response was, well, you need to pay us more per stream. And the CEO was saying, well, those days of dropping a project every year or two are over. Like, you need to be dropping more music and more music. So now their standard that Lil Wayne and people like him set is like now the new standard.
It is. You got to.
So it's almost like what does Lil Wayne's work ethic look like in today's time where you gotta keep dropping because it's based on algorithms and all these different type of things, right? You know, how is an artist able to do that in today's time, considering that there's so many other things and other phases of the business that they are responsible for?
Honestly, you got to find your niche. And I think that's a huge thing. You know, I think TikTok has allowed a platform for certain type of artists. You know, if you got a song that's a dance song, you better have somebody do a challenge or a dance, or, you know, you have to figure out which way you're going to do it. Lil Wayne's work ethic is unmatched. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would watch him 10, 15 hours in the studio a day. Like he didn't have nothing. Like he never had a hit. You know, some people is just in them. And it's just they live it, they breathe it, they sleep it. But then you have others that just, you know, drop music every now and then. And in a time now, you don't have to necessarily drop music consistently like every other, you know, but you got to find different niches how to push that record. You might push this record on radio. You might push it on having somebody do a TikTok challenge, a little sister, a little brother, and somebody starting a challenge. You might take this same record and do a challenge on Twitter and hashtag this. You know what I'm saying? There's so many avenues now, mixtapes, the streaming, the YouTube. There's so many different dynamics that you can turn one song into so many different platforms that you might not have to release 7, 8 songs, you know what I mean, at a time. But you have to stay current. You have to have that social media platform down to a science, and you got to have people on your team that's going to work it with you, you know. And that's, to me, you got to have a team. You got to have a solid team of people that's going to help you push your shit.
So what do you think it is that an artist has, like a Kendrick Lamar, who can come out tomorrow with a project, the potential success of what he could do based on what he's built as far as his brand?
Right.
Take another year, 2 years, 3 years off and do it again and still be able, like, what is it that an artist like that does that separates them from having to be the artist that's always continuously dropping? What do you think it is that puts them in a situation to be able to do that?
Number one is value, and it's substance, and it's timeless. And the reality is that every artist is not meant to be a timeless artist. To be honest, you probably get a timeless artist every 10 years. And when I say that, I mean your Biggie, your Pac wave. Then you got to wait a whole another 10. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll start mentioning some more greats. You get a Beyonce every 10. I mean, it's been more than 10 years, and we haven't had another Beyonce yet. Like, you only get those every so often. So everybody's not supposed to be that. Everybody can't be iconic, right?
Right.
You get your LeBrons and your Jordan. They just don't.
Those generational
There's
players.
so many basketball players, but you just can't get those people because it's rare that somebody possesses it all. And Kendrick Lamar can do that because he's created a lane. He stayed in it. He didn't conform to any other way. He's not trying to be trendy. He knows his fan base. He knows what they want, and he doesn't want to oversaturate it too, probably. So you got to understand your value. And when things are valuable, you look at your Louis Vuittons and Gucci's and Birkins, and you look at value. You don't make a whole bunch of anything.
Yeah.
You can only get limited edition bags.
Exclusive.
Limited exclusive Chanel. You know, it's like when people hear that, they know this holds value. So when I do drop a project, it's gonna be the shit.
Yeah.
You can wait 2 years for it because you know you're not gonna get another one. So you're gonna value it.
Right.
You're gonna chart it. You're gonna make it do what it do because I'm not gonna give you another one. I'm gonna let the game play and let everybody do what they do, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna drop it on you, and I'm gonna fall back again. And that's what great people do because they can, and they know it's not a whole bunch of them out there, so they have their wiggle room. That's what I believe, anyway. It's
crazy you talk about that word value, and you actually started to explain exactly where my mind went to. It's like the difference between, two T-shirts. I use Nike. I won't even use like designers because they have a different level of quality.
Right.
But I'll use a Nike T-shirt in comparison to a Walmart T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
They're both 100% cotton.
Yep.
They're both a T-shirt. The only two different things on it is the brand.
Mm-hmm.
However, one brand is more valuable than the other, even though it's the same T-shirt. Both T-shirts cost the same thing to produce. yet and still one can sell for $45, $50 while the other one sells for 10.
Yeah.
You know, and understanding that people don't buy product, they buy value.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
How do you feel, just apart from dropping music all the time, you know, and things of that nature, how do you feel an artist can really build the value of their brand?
I think value comes from the core, like your core, what you stand on, your beliefs. You know what I mean? Most music is trendy, right? So it whatever fits the wave right now, right? So people will drop that. So I don't think that allows a person to really connect with you. But I think when the artists have a deeper backstory, I think when they have, let me think of somebody that, like even a Mary J. Blige, right? Or somebody like that. You as a woman, you resonate with her from the hurt, right? It's not really the records. Mary J. Blige is amazing, but it's not really the records, right? It's the feeling. It's the Keisha Cole's. It's the crying. It's the I should have cheated. It's the he shouldn't have left. It's the feeling that you can connect with a person and feel like I've been there.
Yeah.
Right. So when you have that artist that gives you that feeling of like, damn, I remember that day. I remember when I was doing the exact same thing, or I remember when I felt like that. I just think those type of connections allow people to actually like you and not the records. And we're living a time now where everything connects to a song. Even when we go to promote concerts, we have to do a video flyer. And the only reason for the video flyer is to make people resonate with the song.
Facts.
Which means people are not really bought into some of these people that we're bringing, right? It's like, I need you to know what song he sings, right? So that means you really don't like him. You like the record. The record works right now. It's on the radio, and you vibe into it. But you don't really care about him as a person. Once the song dies, he dies.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think to really get people to resonate and to be on that level, you need to start identifying, finding your core base, your target audience, who you really think you're going to cater to, and build with those people. Create a story, create a vlog, create things to allow people to see into your world. Whether you're a single father, you just got a pen. People resonate with people that they feel like they can, resonate with.
Right.
And they'll start to get a liking to you more than your music. And I think that'll stand even when you drop a record that ain't even all that. People will still fuck with it because they like you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think the story, the background story, plays an extremely critical part in the audience connecting with that person.
Yep.
And for some reason, the struggle always is seems to be something that grabs people's ears, and we all come from a struggle.
Yep.
Right.
Different types.
So talk to me about the reality show that you're working on.
So the reality show we're working on right now is a joint venture with me and another female partner. And it is about 6 women in Dallas, 6 women that are on the rise, some millionaires, some 100,000aires, and they are on this rise of business, but they're balancing everything. So some of them are single mothers, some are ex-strippers, some are baby mamas of celebrities, some of them are, celebrity hairstylists. They just do different things, right? But when you look at all of them and you look at their social media, they all appear to be perfect, right? So the whole point of the show is called Glitter and Gold. So it's like everything that glitter ain't gold, right?
Okay.
So we live in a very perfected world right now. Everything is very fictitious. Everything is very filtered. I use filters myself. Like everything is you gotta be perfect. Everybody wants a BBL. Everybody wants lipo. Everybody wants veneers. We live in a very just paint this picture to me world,
right.
And make me perfect, right? And so this reality show is to show that everything you see on their Instagram pages is only what they allow you to see.
Right.
And they're not showing you the struggles, the abuse, the trauma, the cheating, the infidelity, the falls they've taken, bankruptcies, losing their brands, having to rebuild. It's just a lot. So it's just really all that coming together on a show and allowing people to see that everything that glitter ain't gold, and the very women that you may idolize and look at to be amazing are going through the same thing that you are.
What inspired you to do that? Was it a situation where you came up with that idea and concept on your own? Was it?
Yeah. So I don't. I don't know. It's just something that I've always wondered. Being on both ends of it, because I've always been very transparent, and I think as a woman we all go through that stage where we want to be perfect. I've scheduled several surgeries and then I'll pull out, right? And then I'll schedule to get my veneers and I'll say nah. It's always that piece of me that feels like I have to stay true to the truth, right? Of like, it's just not who I am. Like, if I want it, I need to go work for it, and I need to work out. And that's how God made me, right? But then there's another piece of me that scrolls, right? And you believe that it's like, damn, I thought I was cute, and then I looked at this person, and I'm like, damn, and it's a society that forces you to feel like you're never good enough. And my sister's on the show, her best friend's on the show, one of my best friends are on the show, and a lot of those girls have already undergone surgery several times. And they're going to talk about that. They're going to, it's being captured. Some of them are currently in surgery as we speak. Yeah. They're gone. And they have a camera crew with them, filming. So it's just one of those things where it's like, it's just things that people need to see. And before you make those decisions, it's not to say this wrong, right? But it's just to know, like, the type of pain some of these women go through when they get their surgeries, complications. And then what happens after the surgery, right? You think you're perfect. You end up being perfect. You look perfect on Instagram. And then you still deal with the same bullshit that you dealt with last week.
Right.
So it's like, how do you, so I just thought about it because I sit around with my sister all the time. We talk about it. I kept asking her friend, like, why y'all getting surgery? What are y'all trying to be, And so I'm just inquisitive like that. So I always wondered what people, like, what's the goal, right? So I just wanted people to see that even in my world, I'm on the show as well. And people see a certain thing and they believe everything to be, you good. Right. And the reality is like, no, I'm not. There is a struggle in everything that you do in life. And I think more women need to feel like there's people that are like them that may not look like them, right? But we're just like you, or this other girl's just like you, and she's dating a rapper or married to a rapper or a celebrity or athlete, and they deal with the same type of trauma and bullshit that you deal with your regular 9-to-5 guy, Right. So it's just like everything that you think is glitter and gold is just a bunch of bullshit. It's all an illusion, and that's just the whole point. It's just illusions.
It's crazy because the whole time you were talking, that was what was running through my mind was illusion, right? And and I could go on about illusions, but I think that I feel truly deep down inside that it's all about being your best expression, right? Mm-hmm. And nothing, not to knock anyone who does go for surgery and cosmetic surgery and all these different type of things, but it's like when you do that, I feel like you take away from your best expression and you try to take on the persona of someone else's expression. Maybe you're trying to look like a person that, naturally looks the way that you're trying to look, right? That's their best expression. Right. And it's not to negate your best expression, but, and then as human nature, we're always chasing more. You can have the perfect body, by the best doctors in the world. And if someone happens to come up with a new
trend,
you see what I'm saying? Now it's like, what I have isn't the best anymore. Now I gotta do this, and it's this constant reaching and this constant chase for the illusion. Mm-hmm. But the illusion is what unfortunately fans buy into because you have artists who will either the persona that they have is actually who they are, or it is a character.
It's a character,
right?
For sure.
And it's all to sell the illusion.
Yep. And people buy it. So, like I said, for them, a lot of those girls that do that, they do have brands. They do, and that was one of their, you'll see that on the show, that is one of their main reasons. It sells, and it works, and it makes them millions of dollars at the end of the day, and they're not even selling anything sexual. Right. It's just that people just like what they look like, and they want to buy their products. So it's a sad thing that is like that, but it's the truth, and it's the world that we live in, and it's okay, so the show is just showing different types of women that some do, some don't. Some comes from the strip club that had to be in there, was raped, molested, pimped or whatever, and they end up there and they got out of it. Some of the girls on the show, they're still in it, right? So it's just a lot of different stuff that you'll see that's going to be pretty interesting.
When is it set to release?
I don't have a date yet. It'll be before December.
Okay.
Before December. Oh my God, this fly.
At Fly? We ain't got no Biden situation going on.
Yeah, must be full of shit.
He said, I'm trying to get me some service. I need me some extra wine. You know what I'm saying? For sure, for sure. So talk to me about your nonprofit organization.
So I have a nonprofit. It's called Be Your Truth Productions. And Be Your is just like, it's like Dior, because I used to rap and I used to go by Black Dior.
Okay.
And so Dior is my favorite brand. And so I was actually talking to one of my homeboys in Dallas that I used to do music with, and he was like, they made Keisha Kaur change her name from Dior when she blew up. And he was like, don't blow up and then they make you change your name. And I was like, you know what? I was like, just in case I ever decide to do something, I'm going to switch it. So I was like, B is Brittany, like Bior.
Yeah.
And so I spelled it the same way. But then when I kept thinking about it, the truth came into it. I was like, you know what? Be Your Truth. And it was like, Be Your Truth. So I did the Be Your Truth Productions and the Be Your Truth nonprofit. And, be yours, just like being yourself. Be true to who you are. Yeah. Be your own energy. Be your own vibe. Be your own bag, right? Like, quit waiting for people to validate, and to take care of you.
That,
you know what I'm saying? So the nonprofit is just really about being your own truth. And it's for young women that, or not just, I'm not going to say women. It's for young people that need to feel like they have to identify with something. We're in a culture right now where everything is categorized. You LGBT, you this, you that, you black. Everything has to be like, so what are you? In a world where it's like, be yourself, just be who you are. And if that means I'm just me, I'm just me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm a Christian or if I'm a Buddhist or I just enjoy being myself, and that's what the whole nonprofit is about, is being true to who you are, whatever that may be.
I feel like with all these subscriptions, and that's beautiful. I love that. I think that with all these subscriptions that we have in life, right, I don't think that they unite us. I think they divide us.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's almost
On
like
purpose.
a divide and conquer situation, right?
Yeah, on purpose.
And, as a result, you'll have people who was, I'm this. And it's almost like, okay, well, what's that? I've even heard people say stuff like this. It's like almost like an oxymoron, like I'm this, but I'm also this, which is far completely away from that. And it's like, well, what does that look like?
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's crazy, man. And just getting back, like you said, just get back to, man, just be you.
Be you. Whoever that is.
Yeah.
Like, be okay with that, though, and like embrace that. Yeah. And it goes back to the show. It goes back to everything. Just be whatever that looks like for you. And everybody's different, but we're in a society where it's forced to be categorized. And you have people that are, well, I'm a lesbian, or I'm actually bi, or I'm actually trans bi, and it's just like, just like, live.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Because that's where I'm confused. You know what I mean? But it's like they feel like society is going to force them to tell them what they're about. Right. No matter what you apply for, they want to know your ethnicity, your race, your gender, your this. It's like, why? You know what I mean? I just want a house. Right. I just want a car. Like, what the hell does that do?
I am human.
Like, my money's still green, right? So it's like, but even in those situations, they want to know. Even when it doesn't matter. So it's just being yourself.
How long have you had your nonprofit organization?
This is the first year for the nonprofit.
Congratulations.
It is. Thank you.
That's awesome. I eventually want to get my nonprofit organization.
Yeah, you got to. You got to find a way to give back.
Absolutely.
You have to.
Absolutely. So talk to me about, actually before I say talk to me about it, I would like to get your thoughts on Juneteenth here in Tyler. And I want to say pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, yeah, for sure.
Pre-COVID Juneteenth.
They took it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus like coming somewhere from a Dallas, right? Where it's not like it.
So what's crazy is I've never experienced Juneteenth anywhere else. When I lived in Seattle, from the age of 4 to 16, I spent every Juneteenth in Tyler. There was no way I would miss Juneteenth. Yeah. My mama would buy me a plane ticket every year on June. Like, I couldn't miss it, right? And so, to me, it was always the only thing I knew, right? So I don't have anything to compare it to. But Dallas, I'm sure they celebrate or do what they do, but I'm sure it's not, on the level that it's just something about a country Juneteenth, right? I will say the last 4 or 5 years haven't been that exciting. The parades have changed. Things have changed. Hopefully it goes back to a normalcy. But I remember when it was the four-wheelers in the park. It was the horses in the park, the watermelon, the twerking contest. We was twerking before they was even calling it twerking, right?
Yeah.
We was in the back. All the kids had a dance contest. They had the DJs. They actually had water in the waiting pool at the park and a little sprinkler. You know, it was a whole vibe, and you didn't want to leave. You know, it was all day, and you didn't want to leave. And now you would go to the park and nobody's really there. The parades are, real strategic, and so I hopefully it gets back to what it used to be. But as a kid, it was like my event of my whole year. It had to be. So
I remember coming to Tyler several years ago, and experiencing Juneteenth, and it just blew my mind because I'm from Oak Cliff, right?
Okay,
I'm from Dallas.
okay.
I'm from Oak Cliff, right?
Okay.
And we didn't see that. I can never recall seeing that
Right.
home, right? But when I came here, I seen all these black folk at the park.
Yeah.
And I mean, just to say, it's like I'm really not doing it a justice. I really ain't really. It's hard to describe because it's like you've never seen something like that before. But you got all these people from the community. All these people are coming together, and there's so many activities. There's so many people. Like, it's like an event like I've never seen before on some community coming together type stuff. And when I seen that, it made me have this feeling about Tyler and East Texas of, wow, unity. Like, these people really know how to come together and just, like, have a good time and just, represent each other. Man, it was mind-blowing. I had never experienced anything like that.
I love it. I do.
I think every single person should be able to see it.
Should experience it at least. They should. It's definitely even all ages. It's hard that you can get every age group in a park together and nobody feels slighted or and I used to perform and rap at Juneteenth when I was a teenager, and they used to have concerts going on. So it looks like this year they're trying to like bring some things back to make it kind of go back to where it used to be. But I enjoy it, and everybody should definitely experience it. Yeah, for real.
I remember I met Earl Campbell for the first time at the park. Man, I just thought that was cool.
Oh yeah,
it was really cool. So, of course, and also to shout out to my little baby girl, like she was born on the 19th of June.
Okay.
So she's a Juneteenth baby. So June 18th, the day prior, talk to me about what's going on June 18th.
We got Zero, the Crooked.
The Crooked.
We got Slim Thug, Boss Hog Outlaw.
Okay, Boss Hog.
We got them together.
Yeah.
Right? So it's at 220 Lounge, a.k.a. Nico's, a.k.a. Suave's.
Yeah.
Good old Nico, Old Faithful, came through for me. So we're doing it at Nico's. I'm super excited. And it is, I really think it's going to be a really good turnout. I wanted everybody to come out. The Latinos been showing mad love. They buying out the tables, buying out the sections. So really, I just want it to be a great event. I know a lot of people like Slim Thug and a lot of people like Zero, but it's very rare that you have them together on a stage. They're going to kind of tag team it a little bit and can just kind of play off of each other. They got a lot of songs together. So I'm excited, and especially just the Juneteenth didn't happen last year. So it was important to me that I did an event Juneteenth weekend, that it was the right event. I did with the younger crowd last time for Glock. So this time I was like, I really want to my age, people I know Ro, I know Some Thug, and people love them and always will. It's something about Zero and Tyler that just connects, that people just love him. So I'm excited. It's my first time working with either of those artists, and I think it's going to be a great turnout. Y'all come out. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a packed house. I do.
That's what's up. And are there any local artists performing as far as
Yes, there is. Guala P is performing, and then he's the featured artist, and then there's 5 opening acts, which I can't even tell you their names if I wanted to. I really don't know their names, but they're performing as well.
That's awesome. I know a lot of times I hear people say stuff like, what I'm saying, about what needs to happen for artists and different things like that. And I think that when we have big shows like that here, and we have that opportunity for these artists that are from our city to perform and have that platform to be able to get in front of people, right?
Oh, yeah.
It just kind of helps build the awareness.
Of course, you have to.
You talked about earlier in our conversation about how, a lot of people just don't know about these artists.
Right.
right? And I would like to share my vision with you, Britt, and see what you think about it, right?
Okay.
My vision for East Texas and Tyler is, and I ain't talking about no kumbaya, my lord, right? I ain't talking about no kumbaya and this false sense of unity, because we are human beings at the end of the day. We're going to have our own personalities. We're going to have our own egos. We're going to have our own differences and things of that nature, but we all have a role to play. I have a vision that one day, you know, we have shows and have so much awareness around our artists here in our area and in our region that maybe all these people are actually coming out to see them, to where we wouldn't even need like a major big time artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it takes a lot to make that happen, as far as like building that brand, right, and adding that value. And if we wanted to bring down somebody else, like to go along with it, just to have an even bigger spectacle,
right.
You know, we could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think it would take in order to get artists from the area and the region on that level to where, you know, we're bringing and packing out a house to see them?
Well, I'm actually working on it. I'm actually working on that. But I will say, trying to answer it correctly. I think the artist, it starts with the artist. And they have to believe in themselves in a different way. And I say that because when people were reaching out to me to open up, when I was doing Fujiano and I was doing Glock, and even this show, they don't understand. So a lot of artists don't understand the value, again, of getting in front of people that are not your immediate circle, or your homeboys, your college buddies, and the people that stay around you that hypes you up. You get 20, 30 people that know your song and you think you're the hottest thing smoking. Right? And that's great. But the reality is the world is bigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you had a lot of the guys, you know, when I did the Fujiano show, he ended up going to jail, okay, in the middle of me promoting his show. So I had to switch to Glock. So in this interim of switching, some of the artists were like, well, who you gonna get? And I'm like, I got you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna have a show.
Yeah.
Well, I want my money back. Well, who am I performing in front of? Well, what order do I go in? Well, I don't want to perform for that. So I was kind of throwing some ideas to some of them of who I was thinking. Nah, if you do him, I don't want to rap. I don't want to do that show. I'll wait till you do another show. And it was interesting to me, and I even told one of them, I said, we were talking on Messenger. I said, call me personally.
Right.
And I said, I don't know you. I said, but I need to explain something to you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you don't understand the value of performing. And I think a lot of people perform for the wrong reasons. I think people like it to add it to their resume, and they want it for clout.
Yeah.
I'm rapping. I'm opening up for Moneybag. I'm opening up for so-and-so. That's great. The reality is these guys that are coming will never sign you.
Right.
They're not looking.
Right.
Most of them are not ever going to be in the club. So that can't be why you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have to be doing this to captivate.
Yeah.
And like I told him, I don't give a damn if I put George Clinton
Yeah.
behind you.
Yeah.
If you got 1,000 people in front of you from your city and you don't perform because Glock's not performing after you, you have a problem.
Yeah.
And the problem is not the person behind you. They get paid when they pull up.
Facts.
So the fact that you're still a local artist and you're looking to open up means you're not on the epitome where you need to be.
Right.
So you take advantage of opportunities, but if you don't even understand the thought process of why you're even opening up,
right,
you have to. What is the chances of you being able to actually perform with just you? Do you even believe in you like that?
Right.
Or are you holding? One of them asked me, "Well, how many tickets you done sold? Are people really coming?" So how many tickets have you sold?
Right.
You're performing.
Accountability.
You know what I'm saying? Not that you have to sell my tickets, but the reality is, if I was performing before somebody, I would tell everybody I knew.
Facts.
And be like, hey, you need to buy a ticket. I need y'all out there.
Right.
I need you to come support me. You know what I'm saying? So to get somebody to do a show and to get everybody on the stage, they all have to believe that they're stars.
Facts.
They all have to believe that they're even ticket worthy. they're depending on the artists that they're opening up for to sell the tickets.
Yep.
And then they're just gonna come up there, they pay their money, they perform, they're gonna have all their homeboys on stage, then they're gonna burn out.
Right.
And that's just not what it's about. And if you're not captivating, like I told them, if you're gonna come to a show and you're gonna spend $300, $400, $500, $1,000 to open up, and you come into this facility and you don't have any merchandise, you're doing it ass backwards.
Right.
Why would you be in a place with 1,000 people that just seen you kill the stage? And you don't even have a T-shirt to hand them.
To try and monetize.
You don't even have a business card to hand them and say, just follow me.
Yeah.
Just follow me. They got little QR codes that you can scan. Just scan me. You know what I'm saying? But y'all will flash money on the camera. Y'all will put money into other things. But when it comes time to you're supposed to make your money back. If you pay to open up, you make it back.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell a T-shirt. I'm going to sell a CD. I don't give a damn. I'm going to sell a flash drive. I don't give a shit what it is.
Everything
I'm not finna come in here and spend $500 and walk away and don't have nothing.
Right.
Just to say that everybody see me perform. At least they don't even tell people their Instagram name when they finish performing.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, everybody in this bitch follow me. If you think I wrecked this bitch, follow me.
Facts.
Go, just click right now. Everybody got their phones out. Go live. Tag me. Whatever the case may be. So it's just that people don't capitalize on the moment.
Right.
So until you have people that understand like what the moment is about, it's going to be hard to put them all together and get them on the stage and be able to have the whole city come out because a lot of them don't believe in them like they want other people to believe in them.
Right.
So that's my thoughts on that.
And I think that goes back to when you talked about artist development
Yeah.
and what is your actual, what are you trying to accomplish out of this? Do you just
Exactly.
want to be famous?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Or are you really trying to monetize and make this a business?
Right.
For
sure.
That's awesome. Man, you go, girl.
Thank you.
I love that. That's what's up. And I know you're familiar with the rap scene and the artists here in the region.
Sure.
So I'm gonna put a little pressure on you. You ready for a little pressure?
Okay.
Little pressure. So give me Brittani's top 5 artists in Tyler, East Texas.
In order?
It ain't got to be. I ain't gonna put that much pressure. I'm just saying, is that Fly trying to make your top 5? He's still hanging out with you. He like your vibe.
Clearly, no. 5. I don't. Ooh, 5. Number 1. First off, I'm gonna do it in order.
Okay.
My first pick is Guala P.
Okay.
And I didn't know about Guala until the Glock show. And if I had to put my money up, it would be Guala.
Okay.
On a level of his humility, his hunger, his consistency. When I go on YouTube, I could keep listening. The music doesn't stop. You know what I mean? It's not just few songs. His personality is great. I think people will relate to him very well.
Okay.
And when I think of an artist, I don't look at it from a local perspective.
Right.
I try to see who could I see next to Lil Baby and them at the awards.
For sure.
Who could, and I think Guala would be my number 1 pick.
Okay.
Second one would be LZ.
LZ.
He's so multifaceted that it's hard to come across those type of people that can sing you to church, or tank you down, you know what I'm saying, and genuine you, or he reminds me of Trader Truth as far as on the rap level, his voice, the raspiness, the delivery, and I've been knowing LZ since like 2002.
Yeah.
And he's been consistent in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the love for the music hasn't stopped, so it means it's really in him.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that it's like not an overnight type of thing. So I think LZ, with the right person, the right production, and right, I think LZ could go so many different avenues that it's like it's a slam dunk. Number 3 would be Back in Bino.
Back in Bino.
I like his I like it. When I called down here and I was like, I'm doing a show, who do I need on the show? They're like, Back in. So I went with it. I didn't ever heard his music. And then my son, he's 16, and he keeps playing it. We'd be in the car playing. I'm like, what you listen to, Back in? So it's like, okay. Most kids flock to people that are somebody already. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for kids and young people to like people that's not somebody already, in their world. So I trust that opinion too, that they like him. Yeah. And then I saw him perform, and a lot of people knows his records, and his personality. He already kind of has this I'm famous aura that I get from him. Not a cocky, but it just, he doesn't seem pressed to make it. He just seems like, I got this,
Yeah.
and I got it, you know. Yeah. And I think that's dope. That when you feel confident like that in your music and in your brand, that you just feel like, I got this, and I don't have to do the extra. You know, that's kind of what I get from him. Like, I don't have to do all the extra shit. You know, I'm gonna consistently do what I do, and I'm gonna make it, and I think that's dope. Yeah. Back in, is it Fabo or Fabio?
I think it's Fabo.
Fabo.
Yeah.
I think he's really good. He's young, and I think he's good. I don't know a whole bunch about him, but from what I've heard, the music and the performance, I really like him.
Yeah.
I just don't know him as a person yet.
Yeah.
And then, how many is that?
That's 4. And that's a nice top 4 thus far, I might say.
5. Damn, I don't have. Is there more? Wait, there's a lot of artists here.
Yeah.
I think 5. I would just collectively put. No. I don't know. They're all like, after that. Those, I'm gonna say this. Those are the people that would be like, hands down.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I feel like I've seen great talent from them. Like Fast ENT, they got a whole camp. The Journey, she's a female artist. I actually like her flow. Yeah. Smitty Hawkins, I heard a song of hers. I like her flow. I don't know enough though yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I've only heard like 1-2 songs.
Right.
AJ 1K, he got one with Sauce. The whole Go Hard. The song is nice.
Yeah.
But I just haven't heard enough. But the other people, I've heard like a plethora of music and a catalog, and have dealt with them personally, that I think they got it. Yeah. So everybody else, I just don't know enough yet.
That's hard though. Like, that's the first I've heard put it that way, as far as like the slide. You know, just the general population into the 5th spot. You know what I'm saying?
Because there's so many.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that there's so many down here that's like that. And they're, you know, and even Seco P, he's not from Tyler, I don't believe. But I know he's doing his thing. But I don't know a lot about him, you know. So it's like, I just know he's doing his thing, right? Yeah. So you got to respect that. But I heard the one song, the Tampa song, and that's the only thing I've heard. Yeah. But I mean, everybody's grinding. But I just, you know, if I had to bet the house on a few, it'd be those.
For sure. Yep. For sure.
Yep.
That's what's up. And where can everyone find you at?
On Instagram is Be Your Truth, BIORTRUTH. On Instagram, that's on Instagram. And then on Facebook is Brittani Stanton. Or is I do have a business page, and it's Be Your Truth Productions. So that's it. That's the only 2 little social media platforms I got.
Really?
Yep, child.
That's what's up. Well, man, it's been an absolute privilege, a pleasure, and an honor just to sit here and have a great conversation with you, Brittani, just to kind of pick your brain and you know, seeing your perspective and how you look at things. Man, I think it was extremely educational, you know, for us. And I think, like, you know, you said, like, if we apply those efforts, you know, we'll definitely see a different result.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's time. I think East Texas got it. We just got to, you know, everybody just got to do what they know they gotta do, you know, and change the dynamic, it's the mind. Everything is, if I could tell you, these young artists, or not even just artists, I'm gonna just tell you, people, our culture, if we could just change this, our whole dynamic, like, we're so powerful. And it's, you know, it's crazy when it's just like a woman that, like, possesses this stuff that she don't really know she got it, and then she meets this guy that, like, you know, beats on her, and then she becomes this, you know, little shell, like, because she doesn't understand the power of the strength of the mind, you know, to walk away or to know she's amazing. Right. It's the same thing, and it's like our culture has been beaten down for so long that we just started beating each other, right? So it's like, well, if they ain't beating us no more, we just gonna keep beating each other. Either way, we got to get beat on.
Right.
You know
we need some pain.
It's somebody got to fight, right? And so you create this world where we act like we're suppressed, but really, like, are we? You know, we are in a tangent a little bit. Yeah, there is definitely some, you know, some privileges that they have that we don't. So don't say I'm discrediting that. But what I'm saying is, we spend a lot of time self-destructing.
I agree.
We spend a lot of time tearing down our brother, our sister, and then we turn around and be like, wait, Don't do our culture, but we do our culture.
Come on now.
But it's okay because it's us doing it to each other. So I just think once we figure out the mentality that we've been taught and instilled, we have to undo it. But you have to want to, though.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants it, but nobody really wants to do the work that it takes to deprogram yourself. It's really hard.
Yeah.
To untrain your brain to do something, you know, so you have to really put forth the effort to try to do shit differently and love differently, care differently, and even just have people back,
right.
Even when you don't got to,
right?
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with standing by your fellow whatever, even if I don't even agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, you have some coaches that like I don't even care if you wrong. I'm gonna pull you to the side and say, hey, you know you wrong,
right?
But right now on the platform, I got your back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's just what real people do. Yeah. That's what loyalty is about. That's what culture is supposed to be about.
Right.
Is that I got you, you got me. And then in behind closed doors, we going to squash it out and be like, say, don't do that shit no more. Because you know that shit wasn't, you know.
Right.
But on the platform, on the forefront, it's like we good. We got this shit figured out. But they know we don't fuck with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not hard.
Yeah.
Give them a street, give them a color, give them a blue rag, a red rag, give them a anything.
Yeah.
And they gonna shoot it out.
Yep.
And we give them some money.
Right.
Give them some clout.
Yep.
They gonna kill all the rap. They gonna do it themselves.
Yeah.
And we just gonna sit back and So it's. I could go on forever about that.
I was like, girl, we're gonna get a part two.
Listen,
We're gonna talk about.
But let me tell you something, y'all. Train your brain.
Yeah.
As a man thinketh.
So is he.
As a man thinketh. If you don't read nothing else in your life, read the book or get an audio book of As a Man Thinketh. I swear to God, it'll change your life.
Yeah. Power manifestation starts within the mind, and what you have in your mind is what you manifest into your reality.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Once again, it's been a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor. I can't wait for part two.
All good.
Yeah,
I'll be here.
We're going to chop it up, man. We're going to have
Thank
some
you.
good stuff. For sure.
Perfect.
I have one more question. I know you like, man, he is full of questions. I got one more question.
Go ahead.
Say, it's so inquisitive.
I'm so damn hungry.
Man, you have one more question. It's going to be the quickest one I have.
All right.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what we do on this podcast, Britt?
We chase the bag.
We chase that bag, baby.
I know
Bow.
First thing that's on my mind.